I spoke with Charlie Winter, a senior research associate at Georgia State University, and he explains why he thinks Indonesia was targeted.
It has been a peaceful country, but there have been 15 plots that have been foiled in Jakarta in the last 6 years. So it's somewhere where there has been a low level of jihadist activity for some time now. And what we've seen in recent years is a lot of antagonization and outreach from supporters of Islamic State, but also the leadership of Islamic State to other jihadists in Southeast Asia, seeking to get a presence there, seeking to establish something more reminiscent of an affiliate like the West African province, which was formerly Boko Haram, trying to integrate an already present jihadist organization into the Islamic State Caliphate. This is all to build up this idea of momentum, to keep the idea of the kind of divine momentum pushing Islamic State alive, even when it suffers in Syria and Iraq. This kind of attack is intended to keep it looking like it's powerful, keep it looking like it's ubiquitous.
Well, that being said, we are seeing a lot of these ISIL claimed soft attacks not confined to one specific region. You have Jakarta, Paris, Istanbul, also here in the United States. What does that say about the strategy and momentum, as you mentioned? Does ISIL have momentum right now?
I think that it's a sad fact that we have to anticipate that there will be an uptick of attacks hitting the far enemy. So that's the US or the West, the perceived crusaders, that kind of thing. We have to expect an uptick of that when things get more difficult for Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, and also Libya. So there will be more attacks like this. Islamic State is always trying to carry out or inspire attacks like this. Some may be directed, some may be simply inspired. It remains to be seen whether the attack in Jakarta was something that was directed and planned from Raqqa. But I imagine that will become very clear in the next few days. In any case, though, we have to anticipate that Islamic State is going to be trying to carry out more attacks like this in future, and we need to recognize that this is the case and be rational in our response to it.
There were reports that there were warnings that something like this could happen there, that they were on alert. How do authorities or even citizens guard against attacks like these, especially when they involve soft targets?
Well, it requires a very high level of vigilance, and it puts an enormous strain on security and intelligence services around the world. I mean, I monitor this stuff on a daily basis, and threats to a given country are 10 a penny. I mean, you can have someone who's just sitting at their computer saying that such and such a country is going to be attacked on a given day, and it's very difficult to know when someone is just hubris, when someone's just saying it with no actual knowledge, or when they actually, the threat is something that is a real, strong and likely thing to take place. And yes, we did hear that Jakarta was, or a warning did pass through the Indonesian government's back offices back in November, I think it was. But I mean, it's very, very difficult for any intelligence service to know exactly what that is pertaining to. The terminology used was that there was going to be a concert in Indonesia, and it's very much impossible to know exactly what the operational details of the proposed attack are going to be based on that limited terminology. But broadly, it requires a great amount of vigilance from security services, from intelligence services, and a whole lot of coordination across the world between the different governments which are struggling with the problem presented by the foreign fighter phenomenon, the thousands of people that are going to join Islamic State from around the world. Security services and governments need to coordinate in their response to this. They need to make sure that they're all on the same page and recognize the nuances of the threat.